Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Halloween with Bob Swagger. Why am I doing this blog? Is because I have retired from the screenplay business. Bill, listen, I cannot go back this year. It's too late for that. I am not going back for a while because of my Hall of Fame responsibilities. Bill Beck, that's the reason why. So this year I am doing a Halloween vlog, and it is going to be informative and educational, and also kind of fun too. Today for our first topic, I'm going to spell it out for you. Samhain, also pronounced Samhain. You would say Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain. And this is what it is. Samhain is a Gaelic festival making the end of the harvest season and the beginning of the winter, or the market half of the year. Traditionally, it is celebrated from the 31st of October to the 1st of November. As the Celtic Day began and ended at sunset. This is about halfway between the autumn equinox and the winter solstice. It is one of the 4 Gaelic seasonal festivals, along with Anthology, and Leonidas. Historically, it is widely observed throughout Ireland, Scotland, and the Isle of Man. Similar feasts are held at the same time of the year in other Celtic lands. For example, the Blathamach Gaelgaidd in Wales, QAnd Gael in Cornwall, and QAnd Gael in Brittany. Both Celtic branches are roughly as old as each other. Bear with me here. Samhain is believed to have Celtic and pagan origins, and there is evidence it has been an important date since ancient times of the Neolithic passage tombs in Ireland, all aligned with the sunrise around the time of Samhain. It is mentioned in some of the earliest Irish literature and many important events in Irish mythology happen or begin in Samhain. It was a time when the cattle were brought back down from the summer pastures, and when livestock was slaughtered for the winter. In Beatine, special bonfires were lit. These were deemed to have protective and cleansing powers, and there were rituals involving them. Like Beatine, Samhain was seen as a liminal time when the boundary between the world and the other world could more easily be crossed. This meant the spirits of fairies could more easily come into our world. More scholars of Dynasty as remnants of the pagan gods and nature spirits. At Samhain, it was believed that the Io saint needed to be appropriate to ensure that the people and their livestock survived the winter. Offerings of food and drink were left outside with them. The souls of the dead were also thought to revisit their houses. Speaking of hospitality, feasts were had which had souls of the dead kin was beckoned to attend and a place set for the table for them. Mumming and guising were part of the festival, and involved people were going down to Dollarsmart in costume, for in disguise, others reciting verses in exchange for food. The costumes may have been a way of imitating and disguising oneself from the Io Saint divination rituals. And games were also a big part of the festival, and often involved nuts and apples. Wanna go apple picking? In the late 19th century, St. John Rees, Sir James Fraser suggested that this was the Celtic New Year. This is the view that has been repeated by some other scholars. I'm going to read this part Sunday. It's good. You know, Samhain has been a lot of things going on. You know, the early Celts always had the fun of this event. You go, the burning of the Anthologies! Yeah, that's what it is. They almost were half naked. You know what I mean? You know, trying to brush off the spirits, and that's the origins of one of the origins of Halloween. But there's more of that in this episode. But here's the thing. Samhain, I'm going to look at this notes for a minute, and I'm thinking I might. Alright. These are the historic customs. Samhain was one of the four main festivals of the Gaelic calendar, marking the end of the harvest and beginning of winter. Samhain customs are mentioned in several medieval texts. In the Slag of Corlianos, Kitcheon's sickbed. You know, if you've been in the early Celts, is the thing about it is, you know, it's a pig. They think it's mostly the beginning of this pagan holiday that everything goes awry, and the thing about it is, you know, sometimes it wasn't safe during the early Celts and all that. Sometimes they make big statues like idols. You know what I mean? I've seen some of the Samhain pictures years ago. And, you know, they are feasting and boasting and roasting. You have even the evil part, sacrificing. I'm not a fan of sacrificing, but the only sacrifice I am a Christian. And when Jesus died for our sins, that is the ultimate sacrifice, because we are healed and all that. My little kitty. But in the old days, some of the Celts would understand Jesus and all that. But I will tell you, it's more than just the Samhain. I don't know what with the nuts and apples. Yes, they have apples in the Celts that time before the Americans had apples. Why don't we go apple picking? And then add some sorts of nuts, roast nuts. But Samhain is something that is well known. It is the beginning almost of winter. When you think of Christmas and all that. But there's more to the story than to be told. I'll tell you about everything during this holiday, this Halloween vlog. I know that everybody is going to be watching this Halloween vlog, and I thank you for it. As I said, I have retired from the screen park business. But I am going to give you guys the best entertainment possible with Halloween with Bob Swagger. I'll give you tips. I'll give you everything that's possible. And if you want to get scared the living bejesus out of, please go to 79 Powers Road in Westwood, Massachusetts, where at the Neshoba Valley Ski Resort is, which is woods. So if you want to get yourself pee in your pants, or even, you know what I mean? If you want to have a good time, get scared, and have something fun, go to Witches Woods at 79 Powers Road in Westford. And I don't know if they'll be open today because out here in Massachusetts there's a lot of storms going on. But if it is open today, thank heaven. And that's what it is. So please, if you want to get yourself scared to your wits, go to www.witcheswoods.com and reserve your tickets. They will be open every Thursday through Sunday during the October season, and they'll be open all Halloween week from the 25th to the 31st, all 7 days, and that's what it is. So I say to you guys right now, it's going to be a wonderful month, and you're going to understand what I'm doing. This is the first episode, Samhain. Tomorrow's episode is all about getting hired at a screen park. So I see you guys right now very much. Thank you very much for watching this show. I say to you guys right now, this is going to be an experience I've never done a Halloween vlog before. But my kitty is going to have some fun. Meow. So I see you guys right now. Thank you for watching this vlog. And I will see you next time. This is Bobby Deer. Have a wonderful day. Hi everybody, Bob Swagger here, and welcome to Halloween with Bob Swagger. Yes, folks, it's me, the evil demonic clown of the underworld, Bob Swagger, for another episode of our fine show. Today's, and everybody was asking, why am I asking me yesterday that my maker was like cake icing? Well, the truth is, I was a clown. I was a clown. I'll tell you more of the story when the series goes along. But today is talking about a subject that people want to know about the screen park business. How to get hired at one. So it's how to get hired at a screen park. Getting hired at a screen park. So here is the thing. First, it's knowing that you have to job search a lot of things. Go to job clubs and go look in the want ads. But now the days of the internet always come to play. So this is how it goes. Usually in the olden days they have paper applications that you can get at the site. But now in the technology today, you can just go online and do an online application. I did mine with my employment coordinator at Renaissance Club. And usually they'll give you a phone call. But now in this time of age, they will give you an email. Saying they want to interview you, or they go by the throat and invite you to their casting call. I was invited to the casting call. But if you really wanted to do an interview to see if it would be working out for you, they have job fairs. Usually once a year they have a job fair at a certain screen park site, to get the best actors for the screen park. And the things of it is, if you get the casting call, you're almost halfway there. One of the things you have to make sure when you go to a casting call is to bring a couple forms of ID, and sometimes your birth certificate, and every type of ID possible. You know what I mean? So you can work the paperwork for being hired. For my case, I did my paperwork after I got hired. But when you do good at the casting call, you will get hired after you do the paperwork. Okay. Yeah, we're doing it. And the thing about it is, you'll know you get hired because they'll invite you back for another day to do orientation, and they tell you the rules of the screen park. That's the thing. When you get hired, you gotta know the rules of the screen park. No total use of cell phones, no smoking, no drinking, no alcohol, no drugs, no harassment, no assault. Everybody is family friendly. You have to know the rules. But then you have your first practice, sometimes you see your haunt. And when they assign you someplace, You have to accept and take it. For the first year when I was working at Witches Woods, I worked in 3D. The 3D haunt. Also known at the time was the Clown House. So, the thing about it is, you get all the practice and everything, but the day of the opening night is when you have time to shine. You know, with the makeup and makeup put on, and you get your costume beforehand, and that's the way it goes. If they pick the best, and it was suitable enough. But sometimes people leave the job before the end of the season. That really sucks. But that's why everybody gets hired, to make sure that they play by the rules. Looks like I have some time left, so I'll tell you my hiring story. It was in September of 2011. I guess to the application, I got the email of me going to the casting call. And I don't know who was going to give me a ride, but luckily enough, my uncle Albert dropped me off at the tubing center, and that's where I had the first meeting. It was fun. They fed us hot dogs and hamburgers, maybe some potato chips and some soda. That's what they had for casting call, and usually enough at the beginning of August, for some of us, we have a returning members casting call. That's all we do, but the casting call was good. But then the second week I came to Witches Woods, I went to the main park, and we had a choice. We had a choice between the Nightmare Mansion, the Haunted Hayride, Castle Morbid, and 3D. I don't know how Horror was part of it, but they were walking around part of that, but I chose 3D, and that was the Clown House. I knew about the Clown House in 2010. And then we went through the whole Clown House, and I said at the end, did I get hired? And they said, yes, you got hired. And that was great. I finally got a job in over 10 years. So from 2011 to 2017, I worked at Witches Woods. But I'm going to tell you the whole story of my characters during this series. But right now, I am dealing with one thing. Telling you how to get hired. You have to dress appropriately. The costumes are ragged and good enough to scare people. You have to have the heart to scare the living bejesus out of people. You have to get a heart, but there are some rules. You have to keep an arm's length, so you don't touch the customers. That is one of the rules. You don't touch the customers. And I'll tell you more about this when the series goes on. I've seen my friends at Witches Woods had a wonderful opening night, and As always, if you want to be scheduling Big Judas out yourself, please go to 79 Powers Road in Westford to Witches Woods in Westford, Massachusetts, and go to Witches Woods and get the living scared. We have 3D Keeper's Crypt, which I think it's still a clown house a little bit, with someone else in mind. We have Night Animation, where I used to work also. We also have Castle Morbid, I'll tell you more about that. And we have Vampire Passage, which started in 2016. Started in 2016, Vampire Passage, and it's very good. Kudos to Bobby Pyle. You know what I mean? And then we also have the Haunted Hayride. Everything changes by the year, but this is what it is. Witches Woods is a great screen park. I have no ill will. I love it, but due to my responsibilities as a human, I wasn't able to do Witches Woods this year. So I say to you guys right now, tomorrow's episode is all about how Catholicism shaped Halloween. So I say to you guys right now, get your tickets to Witches Woods or to any screen park in your area and have a good time. So my friends, I wish you well, and this is Halloween with Bob Swagger, and I will see you next time. So thank you very much, and have a wonderful day or night. Come play with me. Come play with me, my little monsters. Come play with me, my little puppets. See you later. How you doing? Bob Swagger here, and welcome to another episode of Halloween with Bob Swagger. Well, it's been a great 2 episodes, but now we still have to get going. Today's episode is topic, how Catholicism shaped Halloween. And I got some notes, and I just got some other news about how Catholicism shaped Halloween from my friend Heidi Caswell. And I'll talk about that also. We all heard that the allegations is Halloween was a pagan rite date back to some pre-Christian festival among the Celtic Druids that escaped church suppression. Even today, modern pagans and witches continue to celebrate this ancient festival. If you let your kids go trick-or-treating, they'll be worshipping the devil and pagan gods. Nothing could be further from the truth. The origins of Halloween, in fact, are very Christian and rather American. Halloween falls on October 31st because of a pope. Yep, a Catholic pope. And its observances as a result of medieval Catholic piety. It's true that the ancient Celts of Ireland and Britain celebrated a minor festival as rigorous as they did on the last day of most other months of the year. However, Halloween falls on the last day because of one thing. This is how Catholicism shaped it. The solemnity of All Saints, or All Hallows. All Hallows falls on November 1st, and the feast in honor of all the saints in heaven used to be celebrated on May 13th. But Pope Gregory III died in 741, moved it to November 1st, the dedication day of All Saints Chapel in St. Peter's at Rome. Later in the 840s, Pope Gregory IV commanded that all saints be observed everywhere, and so the holy days spread to Ireland. The day before the feast of the inauguration was All Hallows Even, or Halloween, or All Hallows Eve. In those days, Halloween didn't have any special significance for Christians, for long-dead Celtic pagans. In 998, Saint Odilo, the abbot of the powerful monastery in Cluny in South France, added a celebration on November 2nd. That was a day of prayer for the souls of all people departed, feast called All Souls Day, spread from France and the rest of Europe. So now the church has feast of all those in heaven and all those in purgatory. That's something. You know, the Catholics sometimes will report entire damnation in the olden days of all holidays. You know, some years before the 16 to 1700s, Halloween was outlawed by the Catholics. You know, how the Catholics stole Halloween from the pagans and all that, but it's turned into a major holiday. But the thing about it is, Halloween is not just a pagan holiday. It is a Catholic holiday, because here's the thing. Every year when I was a Catholic, before I accepted Christ, I would take my bike and go to church and listen to everything that has to do with All Saints Day. Oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, I like to be in that number. Oh, when the saints go marching in. You know, All Saints Day was the cleansing of all the spirits and souls that were possessed. But sometimes old traditions are dissolved in the old pagan universe. But the thing about it is, All Souls Day, the France after Halloween holiday. But there are more holidays that are a little bit more rebellious during this October-November Bavina. And I'm going to tell you more during the series, but some people blame the Catholics are ruining Halloween. That's what the thing about it is. But me as a Pentecostal, the Pentecostal religion, my born-again Christianity, is against Halloween. But surprisingly enough, because of my good heart that God said, He allows me to celebrate it, because not because of the paganistic and things with rituals and stuff, but most Christians frown upon Halloween because they are not educated about the holiday. Let me look at the notes again. I think I may have missed something. The French dressed up on All Souls, not Halloween, and the Irish, who had Halloween, did not dress up. How the two became mingled probably happened the first time in British colonies of North America during the 1700s. When Irish enslaved Kansas began to intermarry, the Irish focused on hell, and the French masquerades in even more macabre twist. Oh, this is good. I might add this stuff to it. Oh, when you think about it, Halloween, Old Hallows Eve, All Saints Day, Old Hallows Day, November 1st, and November 2nd, are generally the days of the dead. But there is a true Day of the Dead in other worlds, which I'm going to talk about on October 29th when we do Day of the Dead. So, I say to you guys right now, always think of all this. But the Catholics, sometimes they ruin Halloween, sometimes they make it better. But Catholicism always shaped Halloween. That's why you got the whole trinity of Days of the Dead. But when Day of the Dead comes in Mexico, that gets you going. And the thing about it is, the Catholics can steal stuff, but sometimes they let it shine. And now, if you want to get scared to limit Judas out of tonight, please go to Witch's Woods on 79 Powers Road in Western Massachusetts. And I insist that you go to 3D. And you get laughing scared. Or even Vampire Passage, where I'll sink your teeth into anything. You know what I mean? That's what it is. So, you know, you got stuff that goes with Witch's Woods. And also for the little kids, go to the Jack-o'-lantern Jamboree. And that will make it a little fun too. Jack-o'-lantern Jamboree. And all the crazy stuff. You know, there's carnival food, there's a restaurant, because it's also no show Valley Scary, the Outlook, that's open. Yeah, my little kitty. That's open, where you can get a nice, decent meal. And drink your sorrows away if you want to have a little alcohol. I'm saying to you guys right now, the next episode will be on Thursday, but There's been a schedule change. I couldn't find anything on early centuries Halloween. So this Thursday, we are going to be talking about, you guessed, about the history of the Halloween movie franchise. You know, Mike Myers, Jamie Lee Curtis. So I see you guys right now. This is not only yet, but I will see you Thursday for the next episode of Halloween with Bob Swagger. This is Bob Swagger saying, you guys, have a good day. Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that's where I'll become. Tiptoe through the tulips with me. Oh, tiptoe through the garden, by the garden, where the willow tree come. Tiptoe through the tulips with me. Knee deep where flowers will stray, we'll keep the showers away. And if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? Hello everybody, it's your favorite evil demonic clown of the underworld, Bob Dollarsmart Swagger here, and welcome to Halloween with Bob Swagger. You see me with these fall colors today, orange and black and brown and a little gray and white. You know, all the colors of fall, but get ready for today's topic. Today's topic is the history of the Halloween movie franchise. Yes, folks, Halloween the movie. It spawned so many sequels, so many remakes. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to believe this. But it all began in the 60s. The movie was released in 1978. It released in the 60s when a young Michael Myers wore a clown costume and killed his sister. And when his parents came home, they took off the mask, decided he killed her, and the police sent him to a sanitarium. Somehow, someway, he escaped and went to Hydellbert, Illinois to go feasting on teenage souls, including one Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. The other major star in this series is Donald Pleasance, who plays Dr. Loomis. Oh, my little kitty. You know, the first Halloween was a no-brainer. You know, shooting and all that, but then somehow he resurrected from the dead. That cannot happen. Like, they always find ways to resurrect somebody from the dead. So Halloween 1 and Halloween 2 feature Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Pleasance. But in Halloween 2, they are in a hospital trying to escape Michael Myers. Let me take a Halloween 3. That is something that I don't understand. They flipped the script. Halloween 3, they do something different. It's called Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, where it has to do with Samhain more than Michael Myers killing people. You know, with 8 more days to Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 8 more days to Halloween, Silver Shamrock. You know, Silver Shamrock! You know, I think Halloween 3 is the most popular than the other Michael Myers stuff. You know what I mean? Because it's a cult classic, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. It features Tom Atkins as a doctor who is investigating a death in his hospital. Then we go back to Michael Myers and how we pull up with the return of Michael Myers and the revenge of Michael Myers and the curse. All this mystical and magical spells. Halloween 5, he was captured by Cospin on the series with your got him out. Then Halloween 6 became, with the curse of Michael Myers, you know, like a demigod thing. And, that is something. Then you got Halloween H2O, the 7th Halloween film, where Laurie Strode faked her death and changed her name. But when Michael Myers showed up again, all hell broke loose. Then in Halloween 8, also known as Halloween Resurrection, the same old type of stuff in different storylines and all that, but with Laurie and Michael. You know what I mean? In 2007, Rob Zombie remade Halloween and Halloween 2 with the Michael Myers theory and somehow going Laurie in this one. But Rob Zombie had a different feel for this Halloween. But luckily enough, this year, Halloween 2018, is 40 years after the first brouhaha. It stars Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode, now a demon hunter, as Michael Myers is a demon, and he's planning to kill him. I don't know how long this Halloween franchise is going to last. I just hope it ends this year. But there was comic books and video game. There was a video game of Halloween. That was something, a video game of Halloween. But Jamie Lee Curtis was one of the best scream queens ever. You know, Jamie Lee Curtis is one of the best actresses in the world. But Halloween was her breakthrough performance. Well, I'm not going to be able to see Halloween because I don't have the money for it. It's just luckily enough that this is going good. Donald Pleasance is a good Dr. Loomis, but then in the remakes you got Malcolm McDowell, who plays Dr. Loomis. He's mostly like a cat person more than a dog person. You know what I mean? Halloween is gonna be good because you got Laurie Strode go, Michael! Boom! Boom! You know what I mean? The comic books, and the video game. I would love to see a Halloween video game. That would be nice. And, folks, I hope it doesn't, pee a pants or crappy pants, because that's what the Halloween franchise can do. Alright, folks. If you want to get the little Major's getting scared of, please go to 79 Powers Road in Westford, Massachusetts for Witches Woods. I have a feeling that they are going to be open for a little while today, and they're gonna have a good scare and everything. They have the 3D Keeper's Crypt. They have the Nightmare Mansion. They have the Castle Morbid. They got the Haunted Hayride. They got Vampire Passage. They got Horrorwood. They got the Jack O'Lantern. They got Carnival Rides. They got Carnival Food. They even have the Outlook restaurant that's part of the New Bavaria Ski Resort. So if you want to get a good scare out of everything, please go to Witches Woods on 79 Powers Road in Westford, Massachusetts, and have yourself a good time. So I see you guys right now. Tomorrow I will have no episode because I have a commitment. But Saturday I will talk about what not to do at a scream park. Because this is what the thing about is. We pay good money to see people get scared. But I see you guys right now. I will see you guys Saturday. And I'll see you guys later. This is Bob Swagger. Have a good day. And have a pleasant tomorrow. And when I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me?
Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that's where I'll become tiptoe through the tulips with me. Oh, tiptoe through the garden, by the garden, where willow tree come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Knee deep, where flowers will stray, we'll keep the showers away. And if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me, come tiptoe through the tulips with me? Hello everybody, Bob Swagger here, and welcome to Halloween with Bob Swagger. I'm all pretty and pink and a little red and a little black, because October is also Susan G. Komen month, to raise awareness for the health of people with breast cancer. But it's also knowing that Monday they're going to have a women's race in Boston. Yep. But today's episode has to do with something you should know about the scream park business. What not to do in a scream park. One of the things that irks people is they want to dress up in costume at the scream park, but the rules say you can't. You can't dress in costume at the scream park unless the bar that's near the scream park is having a Halloween party. But you cannot wear a costume at the scream park. With your kids, you can't wear a costume. You can't wear Halloween makeup at all. Only actors are supposed to wear Halloween makeup and costumes because they're paid actors. Because, you know what I mean? Another thing you cannot do at a scream park is bring drugs or alcohol. Some people sneak in alcohol a lot. I know the whole story. We dealt with it too at Witches Woods. People sneak in alcohol and they drink it and drink it. The only place they can have alcohol is at the restaurant, if there is one at the Scream Park. But don't take your alcohol outside because it is public intoxication if you do. And then you will be dealing with the badgers and the bacon when you get caught. What also not to do is don't heckle the actors. Don't heckle the actors. Because they do a good job scaring the living bejesus out of people. But the thing about it is, it's all, so we scare people to get paid. But you guys heckle us out. We just try to scare you. I didn't try to scare, I tried to entertain when I was working at Witch's Woods. But it is what it is. And some big no-nos for Scream Park staff. Like, you can't smoke in your area. You have to smoke in a certain area on your break, but you can't smoke inside your haunt because if they catch you with a cigarette, you'll get fired. Yeah, you'll get fired. And also the rules of the Scream Park that you cannot take cell phone pictures inside the haunt because of flash photography. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that. And for Scream Park staff, limit your cell phone usage, but this is how. When the time is dead, you can look at your cell phone, but if people start coming, you have to hide that cell phone because you'll get in trouble if you get caught using your cell phone while the haunters can show up, because that is a big no-no. No. I know, Triangle, you wanted me to say that. Come on, Buttercup. Yeah. Oh. It's the cat, Buttercup. Right here. Buttercup. But, another thing, you can't eat big food at the, at your haunt too, because if they catch you eating, you'll get fired. That's why there is a designated area for breaks where you can have food and all that. And one of the things a Scream Park actor can do is let the manager go get your snacks from the carnival food, because you can't go out in the midway in your costume, because that is a no-no too. Yeah. The thing about it is, you can't even do a lot of things that you normally do at work. You can't steal stuff. You can't rearrange the haunt any way you like it. One of the things that is knowing that we are allowed to bring water into our haunts, but we have to hide them and drink them when there's nobody around. And another thing, sometimes it is allowed, but you gotta be careful is to have contacts with you at all times, because you don't want to lose your voice. Even a little throat spray, hide the throat spray, so you won't lose your voice. But one of the things you can't do is don't overexert yourself, for the scare. And that's what it is. So, there's another no-no. You gotta be in arm's length, because there's no touching the actors, and the actors not touching the customers. That is a total rule. Do not touch the actors, and they will not touch you. If someone beats the living hell and tries to hurt you, they are gonna get caught. So that's what it is, what not to do at a screen park. So, if you see someone do something stupid, report it to security, and they'll take you out with the badges and bacon. So, if you like to get scared a little bit, Judas people, just come to get scared of the living Judas out yourself. Come to 79 Powers Road in Westford for Witches Woods, America's #1 horror screen park and New England's premium one. We have the Nightmare Mansion, we have Castle Morbid, we got 3D Keeper's Crypt, we got the Jack-O-Lantern Jamboree, we got Horrorwood, we got Vampire Passage, and we got the ultimate haunted hayride. Yeah, the Witches Woods thing. I want to give a shout out to my former boss, Brian Brandt, and I hope you guys are having a good season, and I'm promoting you guys right, and that's what it is. So, all in pink and all that, and, that's what it is. I say to you guys right now, thank you for watching this show, and tomorrow's episode will be nice and fine too. So I'll see you guys again tomorrow, and when I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? Thank you very much, and have a wonderful time. See you later.
Tiptoe to the window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Tiptoe to the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Oh! Tiptoe through the garden, by the garden, where the willow tree, come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Knee deep, where flowers will stray, will keep the showers away. And if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? Hello, everybody. Bob Swagger here, and welcome to another episode of Halloween with Bob Swagger. And a little bit of two shades of blue and a little white today because I wanted to keep it holy because of today's topic. Today's topic is, what is a soul cake? You know, a soul cake is an old giving thing that they used to do in the olden centuries of All Souls Day and All Saints Day and some parts of Halloween. They were given these special cakes because they were doing with souling all the demons out with these soul cakes. And the thing is, what is a soul cake? I know it has flour in it. I don't know. I think they had eggs. I don't know how they used eggs in that. And with nuts and dry fruits, they might have dealt with raisins and all that. And that's what it is. You know, because soul cakes are very synonymous to Halloween because it's also the prelude to what's originally called trick-or-treating. Well, we're not going to talk about trick-or-treating at this episode. We're going to talk about trick-or-treating during the series. But here's the thing. The way that they made the soul cakes is they have to bless everything. You have to bless everything and make it holy because of All Souls Day. I don't know if they still make soul cakes, but I picture this. I am gonna do an impersonation on one of my friends for how to make them. And with all-purpose flour and then you get your eggs. And maybe a little yeast to make it rise up. By the time I get a cake nominated, I'll need some done. And you mix the eggs and the milk and you stir it around in your yeast. And I went with that. We gotta find some dry fruits. You know, dust been baking in the sun and all the things we gotta do. And get your nearest nuts and a little money. And then you mix the nuts and the dried fruit and you put it in a pan. You bake it and then you divide it up into squares or circles, where the case may be, and give it out to the people who need it. Oh man, I can't believe I just did that. But soul cakes are, because it's not like a king cake you get on Fat Tuesday. They're tiny and they fit on your hand. You know what I mean? But soul cakes were the originators to pass out candy for trick-or-treating, but when the show goes on the rest of the season, I'll tell you about trick-or-treating. But it's hard to find some ingredients for soul cake these days because they want to do a ready mix. The thing about it is, during the early centuries, they were doing these things called giving out food to people who wore costumes as demons and all that. Early centuries Halloween was, I'm trying hard to find, because it's been ransacked by All Saints Day and All Souls Day. But mostly I'm going to tell you, let me check this Thursday, we are going to talk about England's rebellious holidays. You know, the holidays between October 25th to November something. And we're going to talk about that. And I have some questions about what can I do for a costume. I'll tell you more about that during the series, but you know, right now they advertise a lot of stuff for Halloween. You know, like pumpkin spice and all that. But everybody wants is chocolate. Everybody wants is chocolate. But chocolate didn't exist in the olden days in some sorts when we were making soul cakes. That's the thing. Trick or treating, you got chocolate and all that pretty good candy. But soul cakes is a home baked good. But now the days and age of home baked goods for trick or treating is really not happening because they think they hide stuff. Well, I'll tell you more about that when the series comes to that. So, I see you guys right now. If you want to get scared a little and Big Judas out of somebody, every Thursday through Sunday in October and Halloween week, Witches Woods is open on 79 Powers Road in Western Massachusetts. I explain, go to 3D, but don't go to 3D first. Go to Haunted Hayride first and then go to Castle Morbid, then the Mansion. But if you gotta go to the Hayride, go to the Empire Passage. Then go to Castle Morbid and Nightmare Mansion, but go to 3D last. But you know there's also Horror Wood and Jack-O-Lantern Camboree. But coming up on the 26th of October is actually the 27th of October is the usual Outlook Halloween party and fireworks. Let's see how the weather is on that day. You know, they have their Halloween party and fireworks for the customers. Oh, that's the way it is. But there's also good carnival food. I prefer like the chicken fingers or or try the carnival French fries. Ketchup. It's so good. I say to you guys right now, you guys gotta get yourself going to a screen park before they close up on Halloween. But if you do want to do a soul cake, be my guest because the internet has all the ingredients for a soul cake. So I see you guys right now. And if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? Thank you very much for watching Halloween with Bob Swagger. I wish you guys very much and have a wonderful day. Thank you. tiptoe through the window, by the window. That is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Oh, tiptoe through the garden, by the garden, where the willow tree comes tiptoe through the tulips with me. Knee deep with flowers will stray, but we'll keep the showers away. And if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? Hi guys, everybody, Bob Swagger here, and welcome to Halloween with Bob Swagger. Before anything else, I want to give a shout out to Norm Welch. Norm Welch is trying to razz me a little bit by saying it was a bad idea for me to retire, but I have my own issues. But I loved working at the Screen Park. That's all I had to say, but that's what it is. Today, we're going to be talking about England's rebellious holidays. You know about Samhain, it was by the Celts in Ireland, but this is England's bit. It is that time again. Supermarkets are bulging with large pumpkins to carve, and shops selling skeleton outfits enjoy a roaring trade, but an Americanized version of Halloween casts a long shadow over the multiple of quirky and sometimes barmy English traditions that also take place during the autumn and winter months. There is a veil. These are men who carry flaming barrels afar to a Devon village. Folk who pour cider over apple tree roots, and cross-dressing troops who perform something called soul kicking toward evil spirits. There is also a village in Somerset, England, called Hitton St. George, which has a tradition of pumpkin carving and nighttime walks that sound remarkably similar to how rituals we all know. One of the holidays that the British have is Punky Night. It is a holiday for kids. And right here we have the Punky song. I'm not talking about Punky Brewster. This is how it goes. It's funky time tonight. It's funky time tonight. Adam and Eve would not believe it's funky night tonight. Give me a candle. Give me a light. If you haven't had a can of pennies, alright. It's funky night tonight. It's funky night tonight. Adam and Eve would not believe it's funky night tonight. On the whole, however, England autumn traditions are considered with making the end of the harvest and respecting the dead. You know, the British know everything there is to know. And you gotta know the British on one thing. They know how to have fun. But it became a little rebellious, rambunctious. I'm gonna tell you more on Devil's Night about the American Devil's Night, but they do all this rebellious stuff against God during these rebellious holidays they have. I'm looking through the pages and oh, hmm. Oh yes, November 4th, Guy Fawkes Night, also known as Bonfire Night, and all that stuff. The British have these, and one of them is Guy Fawkes Night. In the early centuries, Guy Fawkes was somebody who was a rebel in England. The king hated him, everybody hated him, but one day he was banished and then burned at the stake. And now they have these bonfire nights known as Guy Fawkes Days in Britain. But when you think we have other things for Halloween, they get it different. It's like mostly like a rebellious holiday for them. And the holidays in England are different than the Americans. But the thing about it is, they're doing their soul caking, and they do trick or treating like we do. But it's crazy in England, and that's what it is. Guy Fawkes created Guy Fawkes Day, and they have their British thing going with Bonfire Night. But I cannot wait until this October 30th when I talk about, you guessed it, Devil's Night on October 30th. That is all I have to say about Britain's holidays, and now my plug. If you want to scare the living McJudas out of, please go to 79 Powers Road in Westford, Massachusetts for Witches Woods. They're open every Thursday through Sunday in October, but also this year they are open Halloween week. So I say to you guys right now, go to 3D Keeper's Crypt, go to the Nightmare Mansion, go to Castle Morbid, go to Vampire Passage, go to Horrorwood, go to Jackal and Jerry, and the Haunted Hayride that is totally scary with chainsaws. That's right, chainsaws. I think Britain has some good candy too. You know what I mean? But the thing about it is, it's a good place for you to get you scared. Just make sure you're wearing a diaper. and take some bear aspirin for your heart. So that's all I have to say for tonight. And if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me? And tiptoe through the tulips with me. Ah, yeah, I see my cat Buttercup, my little kitty, my little kitty. Thank you very much for watching this show. Tomorrow's episode is all about talking about You Don't Know Jack O'Lantern. This is Bob Swagger signing off, and I bid you a good Halloween season. Thank you. Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that's where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Oh! Tiptoe through the garden, by the garden, where the willow tree. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Knee-deep where flowers will stray, we'll keep the showers away. And if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? Hello, everybody, and welcome to Halloween with Bob Swagger. How is your Saturday night, folks? How is your Saturday night? Just came, as you can see about today's topic. Today's topic is Scream Park traditions. Yes, when you're looking at a Scream Park, there's many traditions that happen in the Scream Park for workers. One of the key ones is that I don't know if they're going to do it this year for this year's staff, but they used to get staff T-shirts from each different haunt. They would have their own staff T-shirt. They would put their own slogan on it. This is my recollection. Mines were Swagger's Clown Company for my first year. Second year is Clowns, Crazy Lunatics Outside, where nobody survives. Third was Stay Calm and Clown On. Then the fourth year, I was working, I got two types of staff shirts. One that said, Your Nightmare is on a Dream, and it says Backstreet Dreams from 3D. But I can't tell you the Nightmare Mansion one, because it'll get me in trouble. But the fifth year when I was in the Nightmare Mansion, it was the family that slaughters together, stays together. That's when it was Everlark Cornelius swagger. Ugh. You know, the thing about it is, in the 6th year, here's the thing. I didn't like what their shirt said. So my mom did was that my 6th year shirt is alter it. She put a shirt over it. And it said, and now it says, "You want a piece of me?" And for the last year of my Screen Park thing, the shirt was, if it's not broken, we break it for you. That was good. But Screen Park traditions are good. Like some days the whole haunt would get a whole bunch of pizza and sweets, the snack on to share with it. And also a tradition is that the manager always gets candy for the staff because they need it's for voice reasons to keep the voice intact and for secretly something to suck on. But they cannot eat the food in the haunt. They have to go into the cubby. But usually pocket-sized snacks. Just hide them and chew them or suck them. Suck them, but you'll have a cool voice when you suck them. If it's like a lollipop or a Tootsie Roll, you know that? That's what he did. But also, they would also do potluck dinners. Potluck dinners. The thing about the tastiest things like pizza or an Italian buffet or even taco salad, Mexican meal mania. One year at Castle Morbid, we got something on opening night. Monster drinks! I wish he would do this. They would do it every year, but that was good. Monster sports drinks. That was so good. But one of the things that Screen Park Editions does is chants. And one of the chants that goes on every single year goes to the Haunted Hayride. And they do this chant when the park closes. After the last of the people leave, the hayride cast members go up to the tractor trailer, and they do this song. Kill, kill, hate, hate, murder, murder, mutilate. What the score? We want more! Yeah, I got this stuck in my head. While I was doing this, the thing about Screen Park Editions, I was thinking about this. One more time. Kill, kill, hate, hate, murder, murder, mutilate, blood, guts, gore. We want more. I know, and also for Screen Park Tradition, on an off night, they have movie night where you get fed, good food, and you got nice beer and wine, maybe soda. You're on soda. And they watch a good movie. The last movie I've seen at the Screen Box movie night was Stephen King's It. I didn't stay long because I had to go early because my mom, it was like that. But I'll tell you another Screen Park edition during this series. because I will talk about it until Halloween. But the thing about it is, when you have a screenplay tradition, it's it's supposed to be fun, and it's nice. And there's other things that screenplay tradition is. That you gotta clock in at 5:30. Latest schedule is 5:45. That's a screenplay tradition. Make sure you get your makeup on, because it's a big no-no if you're not on time. But that's what it is. See a little purple and green? Well, that's what it is. Screenplay traditions are always known to do good. So that's all I have to say about screenplay traditions. And if you want this little Majudas scared out of, please go to 79 Powers Road in Western Massachusetts to Witches Woods in Western Massachusetts, where you can go on the 3D Keeper's Crypt, Jack-O-Lantern Jamboree, Horrorwood, Nightmare Mansion, Castle Morbid, Vampire Passage, and the Haunted Hayride. And also we got carnival rides and carnival food. We also have the Outlook at the Shelby Valley Ski Resort. Yum yum, here they come. Yeah, before I sign off with this, I want to do something. Creatures of the night, feed me now. Feed me some fresh meat. Yum yum, here they come. And because I would say fresh meat when I was greeting the to tell the other things or slaughter time. That's what it is. I say to you guys right now, the snuddly yet. I can tell you this Sunday is gonna be the next episode is gonna be good. So I say to you this. And if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? Thank you guys for watching Halloween with Bob Swagger. I will talk to you guys next time. See ya. Tiptoe through the window, by the window. That's where I'll be. Tiptoe through the tulips with me. Oh, tiptoe through the garden, by the garden, with a little tree. Tiptoe through the tulips with me. Knee deep with flowers astray. We'll keep the showers away. And if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? How you doing, everybody? Bob Swagger here, and welcome to Halloween with Bob Swagger. A little Halloween music for you. Me and my red and blue stuff. Hi. It's been a good weekend, but we're gonna finish it off this week again with this topic. Why Salem, Massachusetts is the #1 Halloween city in the world. But the thing about it is, they say Anoka, Minnesota is the #1 Halloween celebrating city in the United States. Anoka, you might have the #1 in celebrating Halloween by continuing doing this, but you gotta deal with one thing. Salem is #1. That's right. Salem, Massachusetts. You know what I mean? The reason Salem is very popular in the United States because of one thing. And before I told them about the whole series and everything, I've been allowed to say this, but you'll know why. It's because Salem is the home of the Salem bitch hunt. Yep, the Salem bitch hunt. I was saying witch hunt. You know what I mean? The Salem witch hunt. But I would call them the Salem bitch hunt. If you know what I mean. You know what I mean? All these trials, all these captors saying that with the trials, and a lot of good innocent women died. But some people were wicked, but then they were either hanged or burned at the stake. You know what I mean? Salem screams Halloween. You know what I mean? Sometimes witches can witch and moan. Yeah. That's what it is with Salem. You know, they have a thing every year in Salem from some late September to October 31st, 18, called Haunted Happenings, where everybody goes through these haunted houses, and they also go to lots of history of Salem, Massachusetts, even the House of Seven Gables. You have the House of Seven Gables. And that thing about it is that there's been a lot of things going on. But also, the haunted houses are so good. I went to Salem for the haunted happenings one year in my clown makeup. And that was cool. Because on haunted happenings, on the Mother Holiday, you can dress up in anything you want, any costume you want, without getting in trouble with the cops. And every October 31st, they have carnivals and all that stuff. October 31st is very big in Salem. They have a big celebration. And they have trick-or-treating stores like that. Get the thing melted in. Let's get some era music. Salem. Oh, yeah. All the things of Salem. You know, I go to haunted houses and they're very good. But I'm going to talk to you about Anoka, Minnesota, who is proclaiming that they are the #1 city in the whole United States of America that celebrates Halloween. You've only been the longest, but nobody beats Salem. But Anoka is very popular with Halloween, and they show it in full fighting spirit and all that is going on. But Halloween is very good to the business in Salem, Massachusetts, where they have tarot readings, and they now have a satanic temple, which I am totally against. They have the witches. They have Wiccan religion in Salem, and as a Christian, the thing about Wiccans is that they own Halloween. Not just the Christian faith, truth, but the Wiccans. And I see my little kitten Buttercup is going after my hummus. Buttercup, come here. And witches have black cats. My cat's a calico. But my cat wishes that she is black.
This one's weird, because I can only play it once a year. On Halloween.
Oh.
Scary. Thinking of all the cool creatures.
I cannot wait for Halloween. Well, this is gonna be good. So, now is my pitch. If you want to scare a little bit, get this scared Judas out of you, please go to 79 Powers Road in Western Massachusetts for Witches Woods. And there's the 3D Keeper's Crypt, the Nightmare Mansion, the Haunted Hayride, Castle Morbid, Horrorwood, the Jack-O-Lantern Gallery, and Vampire Passage. And they also have carnival food and carnival rides, so you can have all this fun. But if you want a nice good dinner during this time, go up to the Outlook in the Shelby Valley Ski Resort. That's where Witches Woods is. So, oh, my little kitty. Oh, yeah. I love my little kitty. But, guys, if you want to have a good time, go to Witches Woods in Western Massachusetts. It's open Thursdays through Sundays in October. But this year, they're open Halloween week. So, think about this, guys. Have some fun. And, one more thing. And if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? That's all I have to say to you guys. But Salem is the #1 Halloween city, not Anoka, Minnesota. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that's where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Oh, tiptoe through the garden, by the garden, with a willow tree. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Knee deep with flowers will stray, we'll keep the showers away. And if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? Hello, everybody. Bob Swagger here, and welcome to Halloween with Bob Swagger. You see a little orange, a little gold, a little pink, a little white, you know all that. How you doing today? Today's topic is something special. We're going to have two stories in one. Today's topic is about the story of Spooky World in New England. That's right. We're talking about America's #1 horror theme park, which is the grandfather of Witches Woods, if you know what I mean. It all started in the early 90s in a small town of Berlin, Massachusetts, where they created a little shindig place called Spooky World. And one of the main features in that was the haunted hayride. You know, the hayride with all the sights and scenes of horror movies and all that stuff. The Spooky Haunted Hayride has to have a horror theme to it. I remember a couple of times when I went to Spooky World. And one of the things they did one year was time travel. But always they have one thing: chainsaws. Yep. And the first one was the Spooky World, but here's the thing. We're not also talking about Spooky World. We're talking about the greatest Scream Park actor of all time, Lord Bob Amici. Yep, Lord Bob. Before he was a mainstay of Witches Woods, he was part of Spooky World. And I'll tell you more of that story later, but here's the thing. Spooky World was so good to have. The thing, they evolve. Because as you do the hayride, you have to go through some nifty haunted houses. First, you got the American Horror Museum. The American Horror Museum with all the horror collectibles and all that, and they might jump up at you. You know, that's what it is. And then the Tom Savini Workshop of Horror, Tom Savini. That's where the whole connection. But then one year they added clowns. And it was very scary, but it wasn't scary to me, because all that. But the thing about it is, it's the major thing. It was fun. I remember one year they had karaoke. I did that karaoke and that was good. They had pumpkin carving and they had all this festival things. They had a DJ and all that. They had guests like Bobby Boris Pickett and Tiny Tim. David Norton from American Werewolf in London. Alice Cooper. All the major celebrities were there at Spooky World. And have a good time. I went to some of the haunted houses and it was fun. Even the food was good. Yeah. So, the actors were very paid good and all that. And Spooky World evolved from Berlin, Massachusetts to Foxborough, Massachusetts. Foxborough, Massachusetts at near Gillette Stadium. And that was there for a couple of years, and then they had problems because of management. And then they moved to Candy Lake Park for a year for Spooky World. They did a stint at Fenway Park, Spooky World. But right now they're based in Litchfield, New Hampshire. They got the hayride back and they have all these events, including Lights Out, which I'll talk about one day during the series. But right now, I want to talk about the greatest Scream Park actor of all time, Lord Bob Amici. He is a most dedicated Scream Park actor. Started at Spooky World. He's been going on for 26 years. That's right, 26 years. He started in 1992, folks, as Lord Bob the Gatekeeper. This spectacular character. Last year it was a little bit altered, and he didn't like it. He was going to be dressed up as a camp counselor. He didn't like it, so what they did was bring back the Lord Bob of what it is. But Lord Bob Amici, Lord Bob the Gatekeeper, he is so good. He is one of the best actors. We had a little friendly competition one year because there were two Bobs in Witch's Woods. And you got Lord Bob and you got Bob Swagger. So, that was a big... some people say it was not a competition, but it would have been good for me working there some more at Witch's Woods. But Lord Bob is very dedicated. And he mostly does the haunted hayride at Spooky World, and then he did it at Witch's Woods. Witch's Woods has been one of the best things ever for Lord Bob, where he has a major fan base. And everybody makes him go, "Hi, Bob!" Yep. I miss him. I miss him very much. But he is the greatest Scream Park actor of all time. He is the GOAT of Scream Park actors. The greatest of all time. And Spooky World was his genesis. And Spooky World was the best in the early years. I don't know how good Spooky World is now, but it is what it is. So, right now, Spooky World, Miami, New England is in Litchfield, New Hampshire. But if you want to go for real scares, go to 79 Powers Road in Westford, Massachusetts for Witch's Woods, where you'll see Lord Bob in a haunted hayride, and then you'll go to 3D Keeper's Crypt, Castle Morbid, Nightmare Mansion, Vampire Passage, Jack-o'-lantern Horrorwood, Carnival Foods, Carnival Rides, and even the Outlook at the Shoba the Shoba Valley Ski Resort. Oh my god, kitty. Okay. So, if you But the scared the living bejesus out of big time. I ask you go to Witch's Woods, and that's what it is. Later on this weekend, I am going to talk about the Swagger Dynasty. And so this Saturday you'll know about the Swagger Dynasty, and that's what it is. But this is what's going on today. We talk about Spooky World. So, and I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? Thank you very much for watching this show, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Tree can tiptoe to the lips with me. With flowers will spring, we'll keep the flowers away. And if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will pardon me and tiptoe to the tulips with me.
How you doing, everybody? Bob Swagger here, and welcome to Halloween with Bob Swagger. Lily dressed up like the Boston Red Sox, which go into the World Series. How you guys doing tonight? Yeah, I got a nice, crisp, cold night for a Halloween show. Today's topic is early 20th century Halloween and its infancy places in the 20th century, Anoka, Minnesota. In the early 1900s through the 1960s, there was so many things that are starting up for this Halloween celebration, which I'll talk about during the series, but their celebrations are all like lucrative and everything. But it all started majorly in 1921 in a small town called Anoka, Minnesota. The first major town or city to celebrate Halloween in the United States. Because it might have to do with the Irish and all that. Because this is the thing. During the early 20th century, that's when immigration started. You know, with the Irish and the Scots and all that. Also the Vikings and all that, you know. They have somehow. That's when major Halloween celebrations started in the early 20th century. In Anoka, Minnesota. There are other cities and towns that did this in the early 20th century, but here's the thing. They were always talking about jack-o'-lanterns and candied apples and popcorn and all that. All the craziest stuff possible. And they have you know, I mean, they didn't have mostly Halloween parades until sometime later in all the things that go with it. But during the early 20th century, Disney did it. Disney and all these cartoon people did some old skeleton and crows and ravens animation shorts, and and all the the dancing skeletons and the cemetery, with meaning a moocher. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And I am going to talk about costumes during this series, but I know what the traditional drink that they had in the early 20th century was lamb's wool. No, they were not drinking wool from a lamb. Lamb's wool is roasted apples mashed in ale or milk. But that's different than wassail, which one day will be talked about. But they had, they had all these early 20th century delicacies that are hard to find today. But candy and all that did not really started until the early 1930s during the Great Depression, which I'm going to talk about on October 30th about Devil's Night. You'll know all about it, but the thing about early 20th century Halloween was they did a lot of things. They used bed sheets to dress up as ghosts. They used a lot of things that are commonly known in the olden age as costumes. And I will talk about costumes during this series. And let me check my notes. Oh. Yep. Okay. So, not next episode, but the following episode, we're going to talk about early costumes. But the thing about it is, 20th century, I'm also going to talk about how Anoka became mostly popular to Halloween play before New York City did. Their celebrations are way superlative and more surprising. But the thing is, they know how to do Halloween right. Far beyond the number one Halloween town, Salem, which they made Halloween sour because of the Salem witch trials. The witch trials. But the thing about early 20th century Halloween is we still. But what made Disney really popular is they did a cartoon with Donald Duck. Donald Duck, and the cartoon was called Trick or Treat, which I will be discussing. But got Huey, Dewey, and Louie dressed up as a witch, and a devil, and a ghost. And then Donald plays tricks on them, and then you got Witch Hazel and all that. That's what the thing about early 20th century Halloween is. They're getting to know about the holiday. And everything a new trend goes in it is to know that it's going to be a good holiday. Good Halloween holiday. But I will talk about some of this stuff during the series, because there is something that's going on, and they're doing Halloween parties early, and I'm really surprised about that. But So, think about what it was like in the early 20th century. And that's what Halloween was like. And if you want that we're going to make you scared out of, go to 79 Powers Road in Westford, Massachusetts to Witches Woods, so you guys can have a good time at 3D Kilo's Crypt, a good crisp night for it, a little bit of a passing shower tomorrow, but a good crisp night with you can go to the 3D Keeper's Crypt, Nightmare Mansion, Castle Morbid, The Haunted Hayride, Horror War, Jack-O-Lantern, Gemini, Vampire Passage. We got Carnival Blues, Carnival Rides, and the Outlook, and the show with all these keepers on it. So if you want to have some fun and get a good scare, go to 79 Powers Road in Westford, Massachusetts, to Witches Woods, where you can have a good scare attack. I am giving a shout out to Brian Brandt, who is doing a good job this year. I wish I was there, but you know about what Swagger is right now. So hopefully I'll mostly promote you guys from here on out, and that's what it is. So get ready, because the next episode is the story of the Swagger Dynasty. That's right, the story of the Swagger Dynasty. Next episode. So, if I can me and can't go to lips with me. Thank you very much, and you have a wonderful time. Thank you. Tiptoe to the window. By the window, that's where I'll be. Come tiptoe to the tulips with me. Oh, tiptoe to the garden. By the garden, with a laurel tree. Come tiptoe to the tulips with me. Knee deep, where flowers will stray, will keep the showers away. And if I kiss you in a garden, by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? How you doing, everybody? Bob Swagger here, and welcome to Halloween with Bob Swagger. How you guys doing today? Yeah, my little kitty. Today's episode is a little bit historical for you. It is a story of the Swagger Dynasty. Yep, the Swagger Dynasty. All about the thing that ruled Witches Woods for 7 years, and now they're missing it right now, the Swagger Dynasty. It all started in the Dark Ages, when there was a monster druid by the name of Hydellbert Leonidas Swagger. He was a monster druid. And the thing about it was, for Hydellbert, he was trying to fit in. He got round. You know, his bottom teeth and all that. One day, he helped out a damsel in distress. She was being abused and all that by this royal ugly dude. So what he did next was fitting for being a monster. He ate him. And the damsel in distress was a princess. And she thanked them and started dating him. And then, enough, you got the beginning of crossbreeding with a human and a monster. Yep. That's how the Swagger Dynasty started, but then they became more adaptive over the years, the Swagger Dynasty. They knew how to slaughter, and they knew how to kill. Different things from being Black Knights to the time of Everlark, Cornelius Swagger. Everlark. The great grandfather of Jack Pennywise, which I'll talk about in a minute. The thing about it is, Everlark was a butcher. He worked at a slaughterhouse, a Victorian slaughterhouse in the Nightmare Mansion. And he knew he tasted blood and all that. So that's what the thing about it is. Everlark Cornelius. But I'll tell you the full story about the Swagger Dynasty, but first, hear my story. And then, Everlark's son became a clown. And he knew a new way to scare people. And then and that leads to Jack Pennywise Swagger. And the thing about Jack Pennywise Swagger, he was Pennywise the dancing clown. And he knew how to eat little kids and all that. But he wanted to make it a business. So he created the Swagger Clown Company to try to find new ways to scare or dine on people. But the best thing about this Swagger, his son Jack Pennywise Swagger Jr. was an all-American college airhead. That's what it was. He didn't want to do none of the Swagger business. So he gives the business to his bastard son, who he had with a bearded lady named Doreen Loxley. But he also, and his name was Bob Dollarsmart Swagger. And he made a lot of metamorphoses over the days, from an almost made-up clown to a puppet when the takeover, then to a birthday boy, and then to a toy maker, and then to the usual Swagger that he is. But now here's the full story, if you want to know. Bob Swagger started the Swagger Dynasty, with me being a clown for Witches Woods, and then went to Everlark in Nightmare Mansion and Hydellbert and Castle Morbid. I wasn't able to complete the task of doing all the haunts. But Swagger has been the thing about about 3D. 3D has been the most thing for the Swagger Dynasty. And the thing about it is, the Swagger Dynasty has been a clown, a butcher, and a monster druid. Yeah. That's what it is. I miss being at Witch's Woods, but I am retired because of my Hall of Fame responsibilities. But it's great that I'm telling you guys about the Swagger Dynasty. You know, with Hydellbert and Everlark and Dollarsmart. You know, the Swagger family actually started with Pennywise. You know, Pennywise the dancing clown. And you got Dollarsmart the eating clown. Pennywise with his sharp teeth and bite. Dollarsmart with his big mouth that could swallow up a clown's head. You know what I mean? That's what it is. I would have loved to work at the Vampire Passage if I was coming back, but it is what it is. So if you want to get the beginner scare out of, go to 79 Powers Road in Westford, Massachusetts for Witch's Woods, where you're going to see Lord Bob Amici and the Haunted Hayride once again. And also got 3D Keeper's Crypt, you got Nightmare Mansion, you got Castle Morbid, Vampire Passage, and you got the combo rides, the combo food, and the outlook at the Shoba Attack restaurant. So it's next week is a little bit questionable because I think it might be a storm heading, but if next week comes, you know that next Saturday that they're gonna have their fireworks. That's right, fireworks. That's what it is. They're gonna have their fireworks. So if you want to have a good time and spend a few bucks, go to 79 Powers Road in Westford, Massachusetts, to Witch's Woods. They're going to be open until Halloween night, and that's what it is. So, and I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight. Will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? Thank you very much for enjoying yourself this Halloween season. Thank you very much, and you have a wonderful day, little puppets. See you soon. Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that's where I'll become tiptoe through the tulips with me. Oh, tiptoe through the garden, by the garden, where the willow tree come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Kneading where flowers will stray, we'll keep the showers away. And if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? Hello everybody, Bob Swagger here, and welcome to Halloween with Bob Swagger. a little mixture of yellows and reds and whites and silvers and grays today for you guys. Here's today's topic. Today's topic is early Halloween costumes. You know, in the early centuries, they just dress up for like Halloween celebrations with Whipple and ale, but they started major costuming in the early 20th century. You know, got old rags or bed sheets or even old clothes to they'll chop up and make a good costume out of it. But soon stores will be beginning to make costumes themselves. But the costumes were a little bit dicey, and they were made out of paper. You know, paper, but the only drawback of those early costumes was they were flammable. They were flammable indeed. And they came in a Holly Hobby and all that. All this old. I think they even did a Mickey Mouse. Well, early Halloween costumes were the thing. You know, because they're starting to trick-or-treating the Halloween parties to get off kids to not be so rambunctious. And I can tell you one thing, near the end, I am going to talk about Devil's Night. One of the reasons that they wanted, it's like, it's always been a custom for Halloween to dress up in costume. Even when it's Samhain, or in the early years, and all that. They always dress up in costume. But the thing about it was, early costumes that day were a little bit inexpensive, but sometimes the paper ones were pennies expensive. Because they started doing these Halloween books that sometimes the costumes are in, and they teach the people how to make Halloween costumes. The sight of plastic or rubber comes in the later years and all that, but let's not talk about that right now. Let's talk about the early Halloween costumes. And the most thing they'll do is make ghosts. Ghosts and all that craziness and all that. But I would love to see the costumes of the olden days, and you know, with Renaissance fairs and all that. They think out of the box. They go off the grid for these early Halloween costumes, and they are very synonymous to everything. You know, it is easy to get a white bed sheet and cut some holes for it, and you got a ghost. Or if you have a grandma who is a good seamstress, to make you a princess dress. You know, it's like artsy craftsy starting up with the early Halloween costumes. They can find anything. You know, they can dress up as cops, they can dress up as all these great demons and all that. But the age of the plastic and the rubber doesn't come until the 60s and 70s of the 20th century. So, soon, earlier on in the mid 20th century, they started making anti-flammable costumes. And one of the things they also do was use their parents' makeup. Yes, they would use their parents' makeup to dress their face. You know what I mean? They might use edible things to make makeup out of. But it would sting your eyes and all that. That's the way things were in the early days with costumes. You know, I remember my first major Halloween costume. I have a thing of dressing up as a woman for Halloween. But when I was a little boy, I dressed up like my mama. I'm not into drag queen business, but I dress up as my mama and paint the town red. And the next time when I was a teenager, I did my Aunt Barbara. You know, because that's the thing about costumes is you can be whatever you want to be for Halloween. You know, just get rid of this, just, you know what I mean? That's why I like to wear costumes and makeup. Because I can be me. And that's what it is. Oh. I thought I got spooked there. So, early costumes were so good. But the way costumes are these days, you know, with Velcro and the zippers and all that. I remember the days that they manufactured a certain costume. I got one of those costumes that were inflatable, and they had the green makeup. That was some sort of monster. That's what one of my costumes was when I was a kid. Because I had to do trick-or-treating, which I'm going to talk about. Let me check my notes. This Thursday. I have to get some stuff for Thursday, I can tell you that. So, I want to say to you guys right now, costumes have changed over the years. So you have to make the best of it. And here's my pitch now. If you want to be Judas scared out of and have a good time, go to 79 Powers Road in Western Massachusetts, Wicked Woods. Go to the 3D Kino's Crypt, the Nightmare Mansion, Castle Morbid, the Haunted Hayride, Horrorwood, the Jack-O-Lantern Jamboree, there's Cobble Food, Cobble Rides, and the Outlook Restaurant. You know, all the good stuff, my friends. So, it's almost that time that they're going to be closing soon for the season. So get your chance to go to get yourself scared. And next Saturday will be the fireworks. Yep, fireworks. If the weather's good. So next week they're going to be open from Thursday all the way to Halloween night. That's what it is. So everybody, thank you for watching this episode of Halloween with Bob Swagger. And if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys later. Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Oh, tiptoe through the garden, by the garden, with a willow tree. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Knee deep where flowers will stray, we'll keep the showers away. And if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? Hi everybody, Bob Swagger here, and welcome to Halloween with Bob Swagger. A little stage play, a little black never hurt. How's everyone doing tonight? Well, today's topic is the art of trick-or-treating and its history. You know, during this series we're talking about soul cakes and the art of souling. You know, the soul cake with the nuts and raisin cakes that some people pass out to some of the people. And trick-or-treating in the modern age is very good. But in the olden days, they would pass down candy apples and sour balls and lollipops. They still do lollipops today, but they make sure to protect your wrapping. And popcorn balls. Any good candy in the olden days was good. And they served full-size bars. Now in these days, they have pocket-size candy for trick-or-treaters. You know, fun-size bars. So they can fill their buckets filled with delicious candy. Yeah, basic kids, you loved trick-or-treating. Oh yeah, you loved trick-or-treating. You know, it's the only time of year that you go to strangers' houses and yell out, trick-or-treat, trick-or-treat. And it was also shown on Disney when Donald Duck did the trick-or-treat cartoon. That was good. But trick-or-treating has been also dangerous. You know, the mix of razor blades and apples, and also in kids' candy, needles. And now in this day and age, they're gonna put marijuana candy in some of the kids' things. Oh, that is ridiculous. You know, that's why kids sometimes trick-or-treat with their mommies and daddies, and that is good. You know, trick-or-treating has been a custom all my life. That's why on October 31st, I will be doing my live show on trick-or-treating hours. You know what I mean? Trick-or-treating hours, because the best trick-or-treating hours ever in history is from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. That's when my show will be live. But the best thing about it is going outside, a little bit cold, maybe a little bit wet, go into the house and say, trick or treat, trick or treat, and they give you the candy. You better be careful. Some of the people can play a trick on you and give you Brussels sprouts and toothbrushes and toothpaste. You know, that's what it is. You know, the thing about it is, kids want one thing. They want candy. Yep, they want candy. Yeah, they want candy. You know what I mean? And you have to wear the most appropriate costumes. Some people are dressed up as lawyers and get good candy. You know what I mean? The best Halloween costumes going with the best Halloween candy. And the thing about candy is, it is delicious. The most popular candy in trick-or-treating these days is Snickers! That's right! Snickers, the purity caramel bar! God! Some people go for Twix, some people go for Kit Kat, and some people will go for the typical Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. But now these days, they're now doing gummy candy into these trick-or-treaters, and that's good. You know, tiny bags of gummy bears, gummy feet, gummy fangs, all things gummy. And also, what's also popular is lollipops, dots, Starburst. Jolly Rancher stuff is mostly popular too, and they have those Jolly Rancher Pops. The thing about it is, you know, the real nightmare for these kids is after they eat all the candy, they go to the dentist. But I'm going to say this to my friends. Jimmy Kimmel does this every year. Pulls a prank on little kids. And getting their parents to take away all the candy. They said they ate it all. And it makes the kids cry. That's ridiculous. They shouldn't be doing it. I should be doing a commercial for trick-or-treat insurance to make sure the kids get their candy. This makeup is last minute. I had some stage blood and some eye black. And I'll put on full makeup tomorrow for this show. I'm just getting used to all the makeup that I have left. And the thing about it is, makeup can be synonymous to what trick-or-treats they have. Alright, everybody, it's plugging time. If you want your big schedule when they Judas out of, go to 79 Powers Road in Westford for Witches Woods. There's only a few more days left of its opening. Hopefully it's going to open tonight. It's open right now. It's only open this Friday night. I don't know about Saturday because of the damn nor'easter. No, not the Easter Bunny, nor'easter. Yeah, I don't know about, but they are open on Halloween, and you gotta have a good time. And then to make note that on Halloween I will do my live Halloween with Bob Swagger, where we're gonna talk about modern Halloween parties, and I am going live to answer your Halloween questions. So it is going to be live on Facebook. It's not. I'm doing a special episode for YouTube at the end of the live broadcast. But you people here on Facebook will see the live show. So we only have a few more days left of this Halloween vlog, and tomorrow we talk about the monsters, the icons of Halloween, the monsters, and its history with some of them. So I say to you guys right now, and if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? Thank you very much for watching my show, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you, and have pleasant dreams. If the window by the window, that's where I'll be. Got to go through the tulips with me. Oh, tiptoe through the garden, by the garden. I will drink up the dough, the tulips with me. Knee-deep with flowers will stray. We'll keep the showers away. If I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me at the door? The tulips with me. Oh yeah, baby, yeah. Hello everybody, Bob Swagger here, and welcome to Halloween with Bob Swagger. It is right now, it is October 26th. There's 4 more days of this month left. And we got some pretty good stuff in store for you this rest of the week, rest of Halloween week. So today's topic is the icons of Halloween, the monsters. I know the thing about it is you got Frankenstein, you know, the green man with the bolts in his neck. You know, that was originated by Mary Shelley. And by a guy, they talk about Dr. Frankenstein. And Frankenstein is well known in some movies and all that to be not just a guy monster, but a good guy. He was a little bit out of there. But you know, Frankenstein is a very good monster. And you go, Then you got the Wolfman. Yep, the Wolfman. Howl! Yeah, the Wolfman. Nice game, nice game. You know the story about a man turning into a wolf after being bitten by a monster? You know, its own bloodlines. I've seen the TV series Werewolf, and I know what the deal is. Also, to get into Twilight involvement, you got the vampire, Dracula. Yep, Dracula. It started as Vlad Shepish, Vlad the Impaler, you know, in Romania. He was a killer, and he killed and drank blood. Then you got Imhotep, the mummy, Yep, the mummy, all wrapped up, Imhotep. That's the name of the mummy character name, Imhotep. You know, wrapped in a shawl and all that. You know, the mummy. Everybody wants their mummy. Also, you have the witch. Because you have a lot of things to do with witches these days. But sometimes a witch can be a bitch. You know what I mean? You know, witching and moaning or bitching and moaning, you know what I mean? That's what it is. Witches are think that from ugly to beautiful, charmed, and you know all that. The witch. Then you got the ghoulie, you know, all that. You got Igor. Yes, master. But these are the classic monsters. But then during time, more monsters showed up, like the zombie, you know, the undead, those demons of undead biting people and turning them into zombies, and that's what it is. That turned the zombie stomp and all that. But then started in the 70s, a couple of icons. You got Jason the Slasher with the hockey mask and either a machete or a kitchen knife. You got Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You got Leatherface. You got Norman Bates. You know, Norman from Psycho. That was a monster. You know, one of the other monsters is ghosts, and that's, you know, with spirits and demons. Those are monsters. I know my little kitty. You know, I'm just playing my cat. Even witches had cats. Oh, my little kitty. Then there was Freddy Krueger, you know, that ruined your nightmares. There's a lot of dream monsters out there, and the Boogeyman, the Candyman. You know what I mean? Also, there was Dr. Frankenfurter. He was a scientist, but he was also a monster. Then you got Michael Myers. Michael Myers, baby. You know, the movie Halloween where Jamie Lee Curtis became a star. You know, Michael Myers, the psycho that killed his sister. That's a monster. Then you got Jeepers Creepers. You got all these monsters. That's what they are. Monsters. And some of them are not that scary. Like, the best monster for Halloween for friendliness is the Cookie Monster. Cookies! You know, some monsters are friendly, like where the wild things are. But some monsters aren't. They're really scary. But they learn to be friendly, you know that. But also there's the creature from the Black Lagoon. You have the creature from the Black Lagoon. That fishy, you know that. Then you would now have a shark in Sharknado, who's a monster. You know, zombies and all that. This is what it is. So, you know, monsters are very good. They're historic. And some more historic because they come from imagination. And some things have to deal with fears and imagination. Plug time. I don't know about tomorrow, but either way, if you want the Living Big Judas scared out of, go to 79 Powers Road in Westford to Witches Woods, where it's open tonight. And they have the 3D Cubist Crypts, the Nightmare Mansion, the Castle Morbid, the Vampire Basics, the Haunted Hayride, the Horrorwood, the Jack-O-Lantern Jamboree, Carnival Rides, Carnival Food, and the Outlook Restaurant, and the Children's Ski Resort. And it's only 4 more days left. I don't know if they'll be open tomorrow where I am because we're dealing with Nor'easter. And that's the ultimate killer of Halloween, Nor'easter. So, it's almost over for this Halloween blog. Don't forget, this October Halloween, go on Facebook for my live Halloween finale where I talk about modern day Halloween parties and talk to you guys for 2 hours. It's gonna be live starting Halloween October 31st at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll go on to 8 Eastern Standard Time. So these trick-or-treating hours start in the East Coast at 6 o'clock. So that's what it is. This Wednesday, October 31st, and if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? Thank you very much for watching this show. Tomorrow we'll talk about my Scream Park accomplishments. Thank you very much and have a good time. Ooh, tiptoe through the window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Oh, tiptoe through the garden, by the garden, willow tree, come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Knee deep with flowers will stray. We'll keep the showers away. And if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? Hello everybody, Bob Swagger here, and welcome to Halloween with Bob Swagger. I had to take the day off because of the certain situation that was going on in the world. So we're going to do a double episode today of the show. And the two topics are my Screen Park accomplishments and today's topic also with how media changed Halloween. So, let's talk about my Screen Park accomplishments. In 2011, I was Witches Woods Rookie of the Year because of my performances, and I was the first one to do all three major haunts in my span. I did 3D Keeper's Crypt, I did Nightmare Mansion, and I did Castle Morbid. If I would have been that good, I would have also done Mountain Pride Passage, but they didn't want me in a haunted hayride at all. So, how you guys doing? So, I had successful characters, and Witches Woods got an award from the Renaissance Club. And the thing about it is, I'm very happy. My characters were able to entertain, not scare that much, and all that. It was good. But now with the other topic. How media changed the face of Halloween? Well, it started in the early 50s with Walt Disney, but also started in the 1920s. You know, trying to find ways to advertise for Halloween. And this all started everything with bogey books. Yep, bogey books. To create costumes and everything that is Halloween. Oh my God, get it. But when I go back to Disney, you know, when they had, you know, with the ducky quacky, yeah, Walt Disney's Trick or Treat. Just pet my cat. And this they do everything gradually, the media, and then that started the age of horror movies and all that, you know, with Dracula and Frankenstein and the Night of the Living Dead. That's the debut of zombies, you know, the undead. But also the media also did some good in 1966 when they had this show, It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie brown. And the thing about it was, everything was going up to plan with pumpkins and everything. You know, they were mocking Santa Claus. I can tell you that. You know, with this great pumpkin. Oh, you know, everything was all kid stuff for Halloween. But then, lo and behold, you got a movie based on Halloween called Halloween. You know, talking about Michael Myers and all the scariest stuff, everything possible. And then there's these B-rated movies like Nature Trail to Hell, Nature Trail to Hell, Nature Trail to Hell in 3D, in 3D. You know, all these campy, cult, classic horror films. But now the media is taking a quick picture on clowns. Clowns are getting the baddest rap in history. You know, I mean, clowns were usually supposed to entertain people. But now in this day and age, it's the scare. They're scared of clowns. You know, usually in the olden days, when you have a birthday clown, you say, but now they are scared of them. They want to beat up a clown. But now, all this stuff is saying of killer clowns and all that, that's really sacrilege. And it is what it is. I joined Witches Woods in 2011. And I can tell you this. I wanted to be in 3D more than ever because it was a safe bet. But it was great being a clown and all that, and that's what it is. It's great being a clown. But also, I'm then all this stuff with me being Everlark and Nightmare Mansion and Hydellbert in Castle Morbid. But the Scream Park industry changed everything with the, you know, that's what it is with the media. Because they now have places where they can legally get scared without getting in trouble. Unless they pee their pants or crap their pants. Yep. But now movies are coming back. Just lately, the new Halloween came out. It's 40 years ago. Yeah. And one of the best Halloween shows that they have every year is the Rocky Horror Picture Show. How you do, ma? See you later, ma. Faithful handyman. That's just the door when you knock the talking about Candyman. You know what I mean? I have digital copies of both the original Rocky Horror Picture Show and the one they did in 2016. Did 2016 with Victoria Justice and all that. But Halloween is changing. You know, with trick-or-treating and all that, and some of the horror stories that's going on with that. So, had a little itch. But the thing about it is, media, you know, the thing about it is, when they advertise something with horror and all that, like Freddy Krueger and all that, it's very surprising and uplifting. Because we want, and the kids go, they really want candy, we want candy, we want candy. Oh, I can't wait for the next 3 episodes because we are going to talk about 3 things that come to mind on Monday on the next 3 days. But now, if you want the computer scared out of this, they're open tonight, but they'll be open Monday, Tuesday, and Halloween night. We'll be open the whole week through Halloween night for Witches Woods in 79 Possible Wrestling. Go to Judy Keeler's Crypt, Nightmare Mansion, Castle Morbid, Vampire Passage, Haunted Hayride, Horror World, the Jack-O-Lantern Jamboree, Carnival Rides, Carnival Food, and the Outlook Wrestling and Shove Attack. That's what it is. If you want to get scared up before you go trick-or-treating, come to Witches Woods and you'll have some fun. Well, I can't wait for tomorrow because it's going to be good. So, and if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? Thank you very much for watching today's show, and I will see you guys tomorrow to finish, and we will finish off with our live show Halloween night. Thank you very much for watching, and talk to you later. Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that's where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Oh, tiptoe through the mount garden, by the garden, where the wiggle tiptoe through the tulips with me. Nay, Dave, where flowers will stray, we'll keep the showers away, and if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe the tulips with me? Hello everybody, Bob Swagger here, and welcome to Halloween with Bob Swagger. It is October 29th, and tonight we have October 30th and October 31st. And you see I almost look like dead. I look like dead today. Just cleaning out my brushes for tomorrow. So today's topic is Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead. The Day of the Dead is a Mexican holiday celebrated throughout Mexico, in particular the central and south regions, and by people of Mexican heritage elsewhere. The multi-day holiday focuses on gatherings with family and friends to pray and remember friends and family members who have died to help support their spiritual journey. In 2008, the tradition was inscribed in a representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity by UNESCO. The holiday, sometimes called Dia de los Muertos, in Anglophone countries, a bad translation of its original name, Dia de Muertos. It is particularly celebrated in Mexico, where today is a public holiday. Prior to Spanish colonization in the 16th century, celebration took place at the beginning of the summer, gradually it was associated with October 31st, November 1st, November 2nd. To coincide with the Western Christianity Triduum of Al-Halattide, All Saints Eve, All Saints Day, and All Souls Day. Traditions connected with the holiday include building private altars called ofrendas, honoring the deceased, using calaveras, Aztec marigolds, and the favorite foods and beverages of the departed, and visiting the graves of these as gifts. Physically possessions of the deceased at the grave. Scholars have the origins of the modern Mexican holiday to indigenous observances dating back hundreds of years, and to an Aztec festival dedicated to the goddess Mictlantecuhtli. The holiday has spread throughout the world, being absorbed into other deep traditions in honor of the dead. It has become a natural symbol and as such taught for educational purposes in the nation's schools. Many families celebrate the traditional All Saints Day associated with the Catholic Church. Originally, the Day of the Dead, such as not celebrated in northern Mexico, where it was unknown until the 20th century because its indigenous people had different traditions. The people in the church reflected it as a day related to syncretizing pagan elements with Catholic Christianity. They held the traditional All Saints Day in the same way as other Christians in the world. There was limited Mesoamerican influence in this region, and relatively few indigenous inhabitants of the regions of southern Mexico, where the holiday was celebrated in the early 21st century in northern Mexico. Dia de los Muertos is observed because the Mexican government made it a national holiday based on educational policies from the 1960s. It has introduced this holiday as a unifying natural tradition based on indigenous traditions. The Mexican Day of the Dead celebration is similar to other societies' observances for time in honor of the dead. The Spanish tradition, for instance, includes festivals and parades, as well as gatherings of families at cemeteries to pray for their deceased loved ones at the end of the day. The Day of the Dead is so good, these are the beliefs. People go to cemeteries to be with the souls of the departed. We go to private houses containing their favorite foods and beverages, as well as the photos and memorabilia of the departed. The intent is to encourage visits by the souls, so the souls will hear the prayers and comment in the comments of the living directed to them. Celebrations can take a humorous tone, as celebrants remember the funny events and anecdotes about the departed. Plans for the day made throughout the year, including gathering goods to be offered for the dead during the 3-day period. Families usually clean and decorate graves. Most of the cemeteries where their loved ones are buried and decorate their graves with ofrendas, altars. Regalos include orange Mexican marigolds, tarjeta selecta, called Santos, originally named Right. In modern Mexico, the marigold is sometimes called for the Flor de Muerto, flower of the dead. These are stuffs and attractions, not to attract souls of the dead. To the offerings also believe bright petals, also strong accent to the souls from the cemeteries in their family homes. Man, there's a lot. I'm gonna get to the foods. This is the food they have for Dias de Muertos. During the Day of the Dead festivities, food is both eaten by living people and given to the spirits of their departed ancestors, ofrendas. Tamales is one of the most common dishes prepared for this day for both purposes. Pan de Muerto and Calabria are also stand specifically with Day of the Dead. Pan de Muerto is a type of sweet roll shaped like a bun, topped with sugar, often decorated cone-shaped phalanges pizzas. Calaveras, or sugar skulls, display their colorful designs to represent the vitality and individual personality of the departed. In addition to food, drink is also important to the traditional Day of the Dead. Historically, the main alcoholic drink was pulque, while today families commonly drink the favorite beverage of the deceased ancestors. Other drinks associated with holidays are champurrado warm and thick non-masa drinks. Dias de Muertos. See a whole bunch of people in skull clothing saying es bueno la tierra la mata, es bueno la tierra la ve, es bueno la tierra la mata, es bueno la ve. You know, I would love to munch on him, but now they make Mexican hot chocolate truffles. Look like sugar skulls. Oh, I'm gonna try one. So, Dias de Muertos is a good holiday. And the Latinos have a holiday for themselves. And that's what it is. Yep, they're open tonight. So if you want to get scheduled and make Judas out of the whole crowd, go to 79 Howes Road in Western Massachusetts to Witches Woods in Western Massachusetts. 3D Keeper's Crafts, Nightmare Mansion, Castle Morbid, Vampire Passage, Horrorwood, Jack-O-Lantern Jamboree, and the Haunted Hayride, Carnival Foods, Carnival Rides, and the Outlook Restaurant at the Shelter Valley Ski Resort. That's what it is, that's what it's all about. So, think about it, guys. Well, tomorrow we talk about Devil's Night. We talk about Devil's Night. October 30th. Why October 30th is Devil's Night? And then on October 31st, we go live during our live Halloween with Bob Swagger. And you better be ready for it because we're going to have some fun. So remember, kids, get ready. or Halloween. We'll be on from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and on Facebook. And I'm going to record a certain episode for YouTube at the end. So remember, kids, and if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me. Yeah, my little kitty. Thank you very much for watching this show. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you. Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that's where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Oh, tiptoe through the garden, by the garden, with the willow tree. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Knee deep with flowers will stray. We'll keep the showers away, and if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me? Hello, everybody. Bob Swagger here. Actually, Bob Ether for this one. Welcome to Halloween with Bob Swagger. The reason I have no makeup on is because I'm getting ready for tomorrow night's live vlog that is going to happen on this Halloween tomorrow from 6 to 8, and you'll see me with my makeup. But I want to go plain face for this topic because it is a serious one. Today's topic is about why October 30th is called Devil's Night. Everybody gets hyped up with the night before Halloween, but the night before Halloween is the most dangerous night of them all. You know, they pull a lot of pranks. Bags of poo, soap on the windows, eggs, soap in the train tracks. Even go by fires. Not a bonfire. You know, in the olden days, they did a lot of things. Sometimes it was called Gate Night. You know, G-A-T-E-night, because they would open up the gates of a farm or a barnyard, and all the animals would run scot-free. And also, the Scott Tissue Company gets their money because on Devil's Night, they get a lot of money because all the toilet paper gets thrown on houses and trees and buildings. You know, Great Scott! You know what I mean? Devil's Night. Because of all the pranks that kids are gonna pull tonight. It is October 30th, Halloween Eve, but it's also known as Devil's Night. And there's going to be a lot of baloney going on. So I ask all you people to be vigilant. At least it's not the purge night. But there's things you can do at Devil's Night. You can get the kids' costumes ready. You can get your costume ready for Halloween. You can start prepping some food for the Halloween party. But get plenty of candy. Get plenty of candy so the kids can get their treats. But this is what it is. You don't want to be a victim of Devil's Night. Because they think the devil wants to party? But they might have Halloween parties on Devil's Night. I don't know. But there's one thing possible for Devil's Night. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of satanic temples that want to have meetings on Devil's Night. Not just on Halloween, but that's what it is. Okay. Tomorrow night's the last night that Witch's Woods is open. So if you're not going trick-or-treating at all tomorrow, come to go to 79 Powers Road in Westford, Massachusetts, and they are also open tonight for Witch's Woods. Go to 3D Keeper's Crypt, go to Nightmare Mansion, Castle Morbid, Vampire Passage, Horwood, Jack-O-Lantern Jamboree, and the Ordained Ride. Carnival Foods and Carnival Rides, and the Outlook Restaurant, which is going to serve regular food in the show about ski resort. So guys, I know this video is only 8 minutes long, but I'm just getting ready for the live show tomorrow. So if I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight, wait for me, and tiptoe to the tulips with me. So, be careful, my friends, on this Devil's Night. And make sure you have plenty of candy for tomorrow night. The live vlog is tomorrow night. It's tomorrow night from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you very much for watching this stuff. I will see you guys later. And, you'll understand what it's going to be like tomorrow, because tomorrow is Halloween. Thank you. Tiptoe to the window, by window, let's Bobby come tiptoe to the tulips with me. Oh, tiptoe to the garden, by the garden with a willow tree. Come tiptoe to the tulips with me. And knee deep with flowers will stray. We'll keep the showers away, and I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight. We party me. And tiptoe to the tulips with me. How you doing, everybody? Bob Swagger here, and welcome to Halloween with Bob Swagger. This is the final episode of the season for 2018. And today's episode is about modern Halloween parties. You know, the olden days of Halloween party with barn back and all that, it can be something a little strange. But the things of modern day parties, you know, just is not just who gets invited, but what gets served. You know, you have to decor. You know, you go to a party shop to get your decor, and they have all thousands of opportunities. And then you also have to deal what costumes are legal in the makeup. But the thing about it is, it's the food. And the truth about it is, they have good food. You know, first off, we go with something sweet like cake pops. You know, cake pops is your thing. Just put them in the freezer so they'll be melty and all that. Then you also have pretzel, which is fingers. You just dip a pretzel rod in green or any colored chocolate and put in almond as a fingernail and make some grooves and all that. But you can also do feet loaf. You know what I mean? Feet loaf. You know, shape meatloaf in feet and put onions as their toenails. Mm-hmm. And all the, the thing about it is there's also cookies that are to die for. But some people go for a mummy wrapped food. You know, like a mummy pigs in a blanket or mummy crescent dogs. You know, they just use puff pastry and a hot dog, or even kielbasa or Chinese sausage. Wrap them all up like a mummy. You know, cut up the crescent rolls to look like strips. You know, dress it up with mustard and ketchup. You know what I mean? But also, there are also some cocktails that are synonymous. You know, they use an ingredient that's not that known. Dry ice. You get nice, vapory, and all that stuff. And they also, and sometimes for drinks, they use black food coloring to look like death. Mm-hmm. They also do that to hot sauce too, death sauce. Mm-hmm. Black cookies. Black food coloring wasn't that known until the late 90s. You know, they started doing different colored food colorings and to make the best Halloween food. But I also have to deal with the music. If you get a DJ, that would be good. And that's what it is. And also, you gotta make sure that there's no replica weapons to make it safe. And you also gotta have a station with all the nice, fine candy, and that's what it is. I am cutting this short because I already did a live blog on Facebook, and the parties are, and I know coming up is Heidi Klum is gonna reveal her Halloween costume. So guys, it has been a wonderful Halloween, and you like my show, and I'll do it again next year. So, and I kiss you in the garden by the moonlight. Will you pardon me? And tiptoe through the tulips with me. Thank you for watching the show. I will see you guys, and coming up soon is the 25 Days of Reality Christmas. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much, and good day. Thank you.
Hi everybody, Bobby D here. As you can see in this picture, I just love Halloween. And it's very stuff you want to know. This is what's going on. I love Halloween. I love October. October is a great month. Big time. And it's the only time I can be me. But for the past couple of years, I couldn't be me because of what's going on in my life. I loved wearing costumes and makeup. I loved passing out candy or having fun at Halloween parties, winning best costume contests, and all that. That's what I think about Halloween. That's really something. Hopefully, everything goes as planned, big time. When I think about Halloween that much, I know it's knowing that you ever care about me and all that stuff. But my best Halloween moments were from 2011 to 2017 when I worked at Witch's Woods. And what that picture is when I was my final year, it's Bob Dollarsmart swagger. Yep. I wanted to talk about this Halloween and all that stuff. Because I remember the years I go trick-or-treating, going out with kids and my parent and my mom, go out trick-or-treating, getting all that free candy. Yeah, get all that free candy and all that. That's why I think about Halloween that much. I think about Halloween as the best time of my life. And hopefully everything will go out alright. But 7 years. 7 years of my life, I scared the living bejesus out of people as a member of the Witch's Woods staff. I was an actor for 7 years, and I had 3 characters during my span. From 2011 to 2014, and the whole 2017, I was Bob Dollarsmart swagger. First year, I was an almost made up clown. Second year, I was the puppet master and a puppet. Third year, I was the birthday boy. Fourth year, sometimes, I was the toy maker. And then my in my 2017, I was just plain Dollarsmart swagger. I walk to that. I say, hi, I'm Bob. Welcome to the Bob Swagger Show. Yeah, that's what I did. But also, in 2014, I shied away from me being a clown. I also did this. I became a greeter in the Nightmare Mansion. I certainly had a little bit of a clownish detail when I was the greeter, but I changed my makeup for that. So I was the greeter. But in 2015, I had a full role as Everlark Corlianos swagger. Everlark Corlianos swagger. That's the thing about it is, it's knowledgeable and all that. That you think about all the stuff that is going on in my life. And you know what? Everlark is Katniss Everdeen and Peter Malark. Everdeen, Ever, Malark, Lark. Corlianos is Dr. Corlianos Snow of the Hunger Games. All that from the Hunger Games and all that. And then in 2016, I was in Castle Morbid. And I was Hydellbert, Leonidas swagger, the monster druid. That's what I was. I was a monster druid, and I said this, the feast of fajita, the feast of fajita, yum yum, here they come, fresh meat. Yeah, I was fun working at Castle Morbid in 2016, and everything was going all right. In 2017, everything went all right the whole final year, and you understand why I couldn't go back for another year, because transportation-wise, my brother and my mom would not be able to take me to the Scream Park at all, and I wouldn't be able to get a ride either. The last time I was at Witch's Woods was in the beginning of the year of 2019, because it was the director's last stand, as known as Brian Brandt's last stand. That's what it is. And that's how it is sometimes. Hopefully, we'll take care of all that. But, I miss dressing up in costume. Sometimes I did Halloween with Bob Swagger on YouTube and all that. That's what it is. The reason I'm showing this picture is because my camera has been hacked by hackers, big time. So the only way I could record me talking is by a picture of one of my Halloween things. So, that's what it is. Hopefully, it'll be taken care of, my camera, when the time comes. But I miss passing out candy. You know, passing out candy to all these kids. I wore costumes most of the time. And in 2003, I passed out candy. 2004, I didn't do anything because I was in a respite. 2005, I passed out candy. 2006, I passed out candy. 2007, I passed out candy. 2008, I passed out candy. 2009, I passed out candy, to be brutally honest. But but when 2010 struck, I was not able to do anything but do with these Halloween with Bob Swagger stuff. That's what it is. I wasn't able to be me at all for the past couple of years because of certain situations. But I miss being me big time, and hopefully everything goes well. So, you know, Halloween is a good time for my best month. October's my best month, and Halloween's my best holiday. Even though I'm a Christian, yeah, I know what you mean, even though I'm a Christian, I still love to celebrate Halloween, even though I'm a Christian. I know I have a relationship with Christ, but I celebrate Halloween. So, you guys understand this. I love working at Witch's Woods. I love passing out candy, going trick-or-treating and all that stuff. But October's the perfect month for me. I love October, and that's that. So, you take care of yourselves. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. You take care of yourselves, and have a good day. Thank you, and I'll talk to you later.